And it says I'm live. Awesome. I'm still figuring out, because there's way too many clicks to get to it, but it's getting better, which is the Unify in my head for a whole separate reason. It's the stream dashboard that they set up for YouTube. It's confusing, but it works. It needs some help. So YouTube, if you're listening, which you don't listen to me, fix it. Like, make it better. Make me not have to click so many times. And I guess I could probably bookmark the dashboard, but there's this whole Studio Beta thing. Anyways, I won't rabble on about that too long. It is, according to the Twitters, let me look at the Twitters here. I think it's told me it's World Password Day. So I figured we'd talk about passwords for a second. Hashtag World Password Day. Oh, look at that. It's trending. So World Password Day is trending. Look at all this. All the passwords, all the passwords. Oh, look. This is how you grab passwords right here. Oh, yeah. Anyways, Microsoft is considering dropping its Windows password expiration policy. And I brought this up because I just tweeted it. Because I think it's stupid that we ever have it. Whoops. The password rotation every 90 days is how we get these stupid seasonal passwords. Spring 2019, summer 2019, etc. This is just dumb. This is one of those problems we shouldn't have, that we do have, that bothers me, is that all these people are constantly doing this with passwords. So them dropping the rotation of password. There was a story Steve Gibson did a while ago on it, and I kind of thought it was really good. Basically, there's not a reason for having it. It's one of those type of things. Like, there's not, the person that did it out of, they thought maybe it would be a good idea, but it really wasn't that good of an idea type thing. And so, no, we don't need the stupid password rotations. They didn't drop it. I think it's still a default. So the default is, I mean, you can turn it off. It's just whether or not you have to do it. So, and I believe, was it last year or the year before, it got dropped from NIST as well. So either way, I'm just happy that it's gone. I'm perfectly fine with that over there. Oh, and if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, I'll drop that link in here. A few people have asked me. I mean, all this is always in the description. This is on our website, but that's where I dropped the link in there where you can follow me on Twitter if you want to. So. Yeah. The problem is with passwords, there's not a reason that typing the same password over and again makes you less secure. Matter of fact, that's not where the security problem. I mean, I guess there's some statistical, if someone's looking over your shoulder, and if they watched you enough times, they could figure out what password you typed. But anyone who's really good at doing that figures it out right away. So, yeah, that's whatever. It's stupid. Let's just get off that topic because I think it's dumb. You also, I'm doing this, my best efforts here, to schedule live streams. We're going to record How They Got Hacked, episode 9, at 7:30 tonight. We are going to try to do our best to pre-schedule things, and I'm going to use this live dashboard to do it. Tomorrow, Friday, I'm going to be speaking at PenguinCon, so that's why I have to do this today. But I also tweeted something else that I figured we can talk about, because this is kind of cool. So, the P30. We'll get to the P30. Actually, let's start at the P30, because someone's going to have a stupid... there's a lot of comments on it, so... what was it? Let me find the GitHub page. P30 China... I'll pull this up here so I can actually get to the right... where is it? It's under NetSec. So I can get to the right page here. But what it was is the... why can't I find it? Did they take it down? It's the P30 block list GitHub. So P30 block list. Wow. Okay, I guess I got to find my YouTube video on it, because I left the link in there. Videos. And where's my P30 video? Because there's a lot of questions around this. I wanted to cover it as best I can. There we go. Show GitHub. There we go. All right, here we go. So this is the block list, and this person, and I did a video on this the other day if you didn't watch it. If the person did some reverse engineering and trying to figure out where the Huawei China phone went. And right away, all I did was post, they posted their methodology, and I talked about the methodology using pfSense so you could see where your phone was going, just so to raise awareness. If you're getting new phones or whatever, you want to know where it goes and what it's doing. I went through and showed how you can do this with pfSense. Take your phone, isolate network, use pftop, start looking at where things are going. It's kind of an investigative thing, and then turn on things like Wireshark so you can dig in further. And maybe you can load some certificates. It was just kind of a talking point to put it through there. And the video became popular, but everyone started, commenting right away. There's an update. There's an update. There's an update. I'm like, I know. I've done the video already. I'm aware there's an update after I did the video. But I didn't feel like doing a whole new video to say the one of the domains it went to was irrelevant, which he talks about here. One of the domains was irrelevant. So I just wanted to address that. I'm aware, but I don't know how to make those other people aware that keep commenting. I've been commenting, I know, but, what are you going to do? So that was the Huawei P30 update. So that's this is one of my points is I cite all my sources. I cite the information. I always want to know how that source got their information, if that information is available, or what methodology used to gather it at least. So that's why I cite the sources, and anyone clicking the link in my video, I link to the person's GitHub. So if they make a change on GitHub, you have more current information in the video, because you can't go back and edit a video that's already posted on YouTube, because it's already posted and it's already done. So anyways, I just figured it's silly, but I figured I'd address that. The other thing is, let's look at this. This was really cool, and I have not had a chance to play with this. This is really new. But IX Systems announces True Command, multi-FreeNAS and TrueNAS management. I think this is slick. So IX Systems is with the new series. Sorry if you're on the old one, this doesn't apply to you. They're building a centralized control system. They have a video on it. It's called True Command, and they have a beta ready for download, so you can download it from them. And Serve the Home, if you haven't been there, is a great website that that you can go ahead and download this, set it up, but it basically creates a command center for all your FreeNAS and TrueNAS boxes. So if you have a multitude of storage controllers, you can see the health and settings for all of them in one dashboard. It's actually really slick for storage management. So I think it's really neat that they're doing this. It's an open source downloaded product. So, but it looks like, let's see, the platform is free for up to, I didn't see this, free up to 50 drives, what becomes after that. Personally, it's a reasonable way to balance. So your first 50 are free, not bad. So I seen this, I tweeted, I'm like, I want to play with it, and definitely looks pretty cool. But I want to bring that up. I want to do some more FreeNAS videos. I still use FreeNAS. I did some Synology ones. It's always a challenge getting all the videos out of there. Let me jump to the comments over here. Someone says, can you start a good web hosting company? I don't know. Maybe. If you have the customers, that's all it really comes down to. But if people are shopping on price, then no. It's pointless because it's a race to the bottom. But if you don't focus on price and you focus on service, then yes. And I said web hosting, but that same rule applies to like everything. Could you start an IT company? Yeah, if you compete on price, give up. If you want to compete on service, that's where people care about. And if you say people only care about price, there is a subset of the population that does. Don't target them unless you have a more efficient way to do it that can lower the price. Because just lowering the price, but doing it the same way everybody else, is a race to the bottom that just doesn't end well for anyone. Well, generally the person trying to race to the bottom. Have I ever used SoftNAS? Never heard of SoftNAS. What is SoftNAS? Is it something expensive and non-open source? I'm going to say it looks not interesting to me. I don't have a reason to use it. I don't have a use case for this. So no, I have not used it. I don't have a use case for it. I don't know anything about it either. So, yeah. So definitely have fun with that. Anyways, back to the program here. Back to some of the other things. What did I have my title here? FreeNAS and a few other errata things. And kind of on the topic of YouTube comments or some of that. So I'm going to jump back over to those in just a second here, because I wanted to talk a little bit about it. I try to reply to everybody, but I like to, while I'm sitting here, let's show people what this mess looks like for the YouTube commenting system. So here's one of the problems. Let's see. When I get notifications for comments, you experience screen tearing. Nope, I'll reply right now so you guys have a reply to people. But one of the problems is still, I try to reply to everybody, but it's also, do I reply to them? Because I get so many questions here that are nonsense and things like that. So it's been kind of, I try to address everything in here, but I was looking for the Pop! OS person. One person deleted some of theirs because I started out when I did my review of Pop! OS, the first thing I say is, if you're just going to get angry and pound on a keyboard and tell me it's Ubuntu with a minor tweak, just give up. I mean, I get it. I know it's Ubuntu with a minor tweak. We get it. So it's one of those, yeah. It's something like that. So let's see. Is it free? How to tell if Tom will like something. I don't care about free. I care about open source. So open source is the first big important part to me. And that's because of things like the, I think the register, see, WAI telnet backdoor. Oh, there we go. There's the article I'm looking for. This is why we need more open source. Now, this starts as a scare. And everyone, there's all this controversy with the Huawei and the enterprise. And is there a snooping backdoor? So Vodafone, basically, actually we'll go news.google.com and find the article. Basically, Vodafone got excited because they thought they found a backdoor. They get excited, they think find a backdoor, denies Huawei, Italy, security risk, blah, blah, blah. And then the Register did a follow-up article here that basically says, yeah, the problem is it's not a deliberate spying backdoor, it's just some type of undocumented backdoor. And this is one of those problems when you can't audit the code. So it's one of those things, like this is the problem with things that aren't open source. I don't mind paying for things. I don't mind buying hardware. But when you have no visibility into that, and not everything I use is open source. So it's one of those things, like you want as much open source as possible. We want to be able to audit and vet these devices. We want to be able to see them. And it's becoming more popular because of problems like this. Obviously, the enterprise environment is slower to adopt because the big names in there are not really open source. But I will tell you, FreeNAS is in their company, their TrueNAS, their enterprise support product. I've talked to their sales engineers and I've talked to a lot of people there. They're doing really, really well right now. And because the demand on a lot of open source stuff is really important. And a lot of these companies are realizing that it makes a huge difference when you can see to it. There's a reason that the folks at pfSense are doing really well and selling a lot of their products. Why? Because an open source firewall that we can audit the code and understand what's going on makes people much more comfortable until you find stupid problems. Because this is just stupid. This isn't even a problem like where it was a backdoor. It's just a whoops, we left telnet turned on, which would dump out information on a bunch of enterprise Huawei routers. Whoops, that doesn't happen in open source. By the way, it also had default credentials so you could log into it. It's a debug interface, but that's the pivot point for an attack. So yeah, that's there's. So someone said IT Glue is selling data. I didn't read that. I don't know. I could Google it, but it sounds like a clickbaity headline. I'd actually probably start with Reddit r MSP. Who knows? Ninja pricing saga, MSP control, blah 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 blah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the IT Glue selling stuff. But then again, most of the complaints people have is they have overly aggressive sales reps. I don't know. My problem with IT Glue, they can see your passwords. If they can see your passwords, my rule is I don't use things. If I can call a company and they can read me back my passwords, I don't know that it's a product I want to use. That's my feelings on it. So if the company holds them, they are a giant liability risk. So that is. It was posted to our MSP. Let's look again. I don't see it. Some people just go in here complaining about things too. So, Glue. Login page. I only see one in the last 2 days. So if someone wants to tweet me the link or tag me in it or post it here or tell me what the title is. Because I only see IT Glue mentioned one time in about a week here. So I guess I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I think, IT Glue is somehow part of Kaseya. I don't know. I know there's something on there. Somebody has a Parrot. I do have Parrot installed over here. Actually, does it require me to close this? I guess it does. Let me close what I have open here. Kill the session. There we go. Parrot, there we go, Parrot. And log into this real quick while we're sitting here. Oh, our sysadmin. Reddit. Oops, I broke it. Hold on. I gotta unbreak it here. I don't know what you're gonna see now. I forgot I had it set to full screen. I'm not in control of my computer right now. It's loading something. It takes a second because I got to get the menu bar back up to get the full screen and log back out. It spun up the VM, so 1 second here. Let me log out, Tom. There we go. Let me edit the X2Go session here. Session preferences. We'll do display number 3. That's one you guys are seeing. There we go. Oh, make sure it's this session. There we go. Did I do the right one? There we go. So Parrot VM on this session. There you go. Oh, someone tagged me in Twitter on it. Awesome. I'll drag that over here while that loads in the background. Oh, well, boy, that becomes a gray area, doesn't it? So IT Glue's found, if this person's true, if some said person on Reddit is right, yeah. Here's part of the problem, and I see that. So if this is true, IT Glounder's founder is sharing data with other companies so that he can get free contracts. Now, a lot of times, and I know this from even clients we deal with, when you sign some of the agreements with the clients, it's not with that client, it's whatever the parent company is. And I say that because some people will set up a holdings company. And an example is even like a fast food company. We'll just say that. Some of the fast food chains that we do, like we have a series of Burger Kings, but they're never Burger King. They're a holdings company. And I say, and I'm bringing this up and kind of giving it a long answer here because what happens is you signed your agreement with that holdings company. That holdings company holds all the companies. So this would probably be so because it's the same founder owns Warranty Master, they probably share a sales. And because IT Glue is a big enough company, I would feel confident without ever signing a thing with them to tell you that, yes, they probably have this completely covered, that you signed it with XYZ Holdings Company that holds all the companies that the founder owns. Therefore, there's no breach of contract when they share your data amongst the family of companies. So that wouldn't shock me in any way. I have friends that work at corporate companies. They do this stuff all the time. So I actually would probably say that, yeah, that wouldn't shock me. Selling leads internally like that is there. So what does it say? Oh, someone found some comment from years ago. Allegedly. No, they have some information. I don't know. It's not that. I don't know. These companies are always doing it. Terms change, conditions change. It's not that particularly exciting to me because I don't use the product, but yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, my problem is, my understanding, unless they've changed things at IT Glue, it is still a company that is able to see your passwords. The fact that they can see your passwords makes them not a company I am interested in. So that's how I feel about them. That's my thoughts. Oh man, John McAfee. Anytime there's a John McAfee thing, I just smile and laugh because it's going to be something crazy. Back to this, for those of you interested. This is Parrot, so we can talk about Parrot real quick. Parrot is a really cool distro that's very much like Kali, very feature complete in terms of the different hacking tools it offers, and it's really impressive. I've been on my to-do list to do some videos on it. It really so much I've been so buried with client work, sometimes it cuts into my YouTube time. Parrot's a really nice system. We can look at some of the stuff it comes with while we're sitting here. Not like a full review, but in short, we'll look at all the Parrot tools. Vulnerability assessment, Cisco, fuzzing tools, OpenVAS scanner. This is cool that it comes with this all set up. The OpenVAS setup of this is great for vulnerability assessments, stress testing for website stuff. It's just a great toolkit. Database assessment, web applications. It's got Burp Suite on here. The only thing it doesn't come with is there's another plugin when you're using Burp Suite that you can do with Burp Suite and Firefox to switch between the different proxies that Burp Suite sets up. But it comes with Firefox and all that. SQL Mac, Social Engineering Toolkit is in here. Let's see. What is Shell Noob? I never heard of that one. We're learning as we go. Some of these tools, there's more tools than I've ever used in here. Let's see if that's the right password. What? There we go. I forgot the password for a second. World Password Day, so passwords fall out of my head occasionally. There we go. Shell Noob, there we go. What does it do? Export VM address, warning tested. Neat. Anyways, there are so many different tools built in here. Like I said, it's just like Kali Linux. So you have all the different reverse engineering tools, a lot of it all set up. But I also like is they have a bunch of automotive tools here. So if you're into CAN bus hacking, and some of the other car stuff, which is becoming more and more popular, they have quite a few in here to read the CAN bus off the car. They have a CAN bus player, CAN bus sender, CAN bus sniffer. So these are all really cool that they have that on here. What do we got here? Keep Note, System Services, whole Metasploit kit is on here. This is cool because they also, one of the things that's kind of neat that I like is instead of doing like service, actually sudo, is it OpenVAS? Oops, sudop. OpenVAS manager. You can, instead of starting everything from the command line to turn everything on and off, it's got it all built in here. Like I said, I need to sit down and, if you don't know, when I do these videos, I walk through like a script, so I'm not just kind of babbling over here like I am now. But either way, it's a great little utility, and I may actually look at running this on my laptop full time. As much as everyone knows, as I've done a few videos, and I like Pop! OS, but it's really cool for doing things like this. And someone says, implementing as a service we speak with X2Go. Yes, X2Go is awesome. This is being run through X2Go right here. Matter of fact, let's log out real quick. So system, log out. So I'm doing something else that's kind of cool with X2Go. Over here. This is a published application of Kdenlive, my editing tool. Oops. Drag this over. It's loading still. Oh, also, I'm building a faster server for all this. So that's the thing. Because the server is, well, it's really taxed right now. We'll go ahead and pull it up real quick. It's my virtual server. Log into that. Looks like there's updates. Where's Parrot Pop OS? Here we go. Yeah, it's reading still, pulling everything in. Terminate that session and restart it. I am building a faster server for editing, and I'm not building a faster desktop for myself. I'm actually going to use X2Go and use their published applications. Because what this allows me to do is be able to go in and see if it connects this time after it's taken a second. I can run the application on the server, but bring it here. There we go. Open up a, it's fighting with OBS. So I'm going to actually cancel it right now. That's weird. I didn't know published applications, they must have a fight with OBS going on here. Oh, wait, no, I'm an idiot. I'm the one that broke this at the beginning because I had the wrong session. Custom. I had it set to full screen. It doesn't work on full screen for this because it's an application. Watch this. Now it's going to work perfectly fine. That's Tom breaking things. Hey, look, Caden Live. Let's show you how it edits on here. So, what do we have here? And then we'll change my view. Okay. One screen. That way it's all on one page. So what you're seeing here is, me editing a video. Here's all the cuts and everything in the video. And I can edit it perfectly fine. It's not running on my computer. It's completely running on the server at the back end. And let me show you when we go and render this. So we're going to go ahead and render. And that name's fine. I'll actually put a 2 after it. Render to file. Then we're going to go back over here and show you the Zen Orchestra. Here is the Parrot. Oh, not Parrot. It's running in Pop OS. Hey, look, there's all those CPUs getting used for X2Go. So this is one of the things I'm going to do is put an even faster server on the back end so I can render things. And one of the other cool things is even though this is rendering, I can go ahead and close this session, shut off my computer. It stays rendering in the background at the server level that's sitting in my virtual stack. So you can actually virtualize a whole server, have it running in the back, and have my server do it. And then like when I get home, I can, over the VPN, connect with my laptop to the same published application and carry on right where I left off for all my editing. So instead of me building a faster workstation for me in my office here, I just will use X2Go and use published applications for each one. Matter of fact, that's something I was messing with here. How many FPS do you get? Well, it doesn't measure that, so I don't know. It doesn't seem to measure FPS. I don't know how to measure it on here. I will tell you, even while it's rendering, so you can see the high CPU usage in the back, it works like as fast as you're seeing. I don't know if it's screen tearing at all because of OBS. I don't see any screen tear in mine. Like it works fine. And this application is not here. It is running on the server and only the application's being brought over. And I've tested this. The sound and the video are a little bit choppy, but it works over a VPN. I can edit fine over the VPN, but there's like some choppiness when I play back the video. So I'm super impressed with how well this works. I also like the fact that I can open it up, leave it rendering here, close the application, and then reattach to the same application, reboot my computer, whatever. And this is a short video. This is the video. What video was this one? Oh, this is the Doe video, the DNS over HTTPS video that I was doing with the Pop OS and showing how that works with Firefox. That video is not very long, but when I edit a longer video, sometimes it takes, an hour and a half to render. My computer, I want to leave, so I want it to be rendering while I'm not here and have my computer off. I don't leave my computer on all the time, or I want to use my computer for other things and not have the processor being chewed up by rendering. So it's amazing how well it works, and how you can just launch right back into it. Matter of fact, so let me go ahead and kill the session. What do we have here? I can actually go back into Pop! OS under Flashback here. So here's Firefox running over here. Just pull up YouTube or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And you can see how smooth I'm scrolling. This is, essentially like an RDP session. It works great. No problems. And this even works reasonable. The only thing that doesn't play well is once you start actually playing video. And someone asked me about games, but I'm like, I don't know how well they work. Another problem too is there's already enough trouble getting the games to work inside of getting them to work inside of Linux. So I don't know how well the screen buffering is going to work with X to go in a game. I don't know that it's really a interesting way to look at it though. So so no interest in VDI as a customer solution. That's different. VDI is this for Linux applications running in the background. That's different. VDI is a desktop as a service for clients. Some of my clients are using it. I mean, there are kind of niche use cases for it, but it's not something we run around or think is a solution. I certainly don't look at it as a solution for everything, because as more things become browser based, VDI as desktop as a service becomes less relevant. You know what I mean? It's not as relevant because why not just run it in a browser rather than remote into a whole other machine? Not to mention, we were in a discussion in one of the other forums I'm in about how it's like an entire virtual machine running for each application with all these different things. Case in point, this right here. The fact that I can see the console, the fact that I can do this, and it's all browser based. Why have an application running on here? Let's see. Have you set up a site-to-site VPN with Unify USG? I'm setting one up today for a remote phone that just has been a nightmare. Yeah, it's a nightmare. That's why we don't use USGs for site-to-site works okay, but I don't. Oh yeah, USGs are just kind of a headache. I'm trying to for a remote phone. Yeah. I'm not a fan of them. That's why we don't use them. As soon as people want a VPN, I'm like, you mean you want a headache? I mean, I'm sorry. I wish Unify, because I love their Unified dashboard, but I just spent 30 minutes trying to get a USG to connect properly for another client. He's like, are they all this hard? I'm like, this is why we said not to buy them. Like, I hate to say it, but they're just difficult. And as soon as they want to do something complicated, that becomes even more work on the USG. Let's see. Yeah, X2Go works in Windows as a client, not as a server. Maybe there's a way to do it as a server. I don't know. Yeah. So let's see what else here. Yeah, if you're doing a site to site between two USGs and they're on the same controller but they're two separate sites, you just tell them to talk. That works. It's all the individual stuff that gets more complicated with them. Well, no, Flexible Pool on RAID 5 is completely different because it's not ZFS. ZFS is a very different system. That's why you can't just dynamically add drives. It's not really, it's like a long time out future release, but I don't know where it's going to be because I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome all the challenges that are related to it. So it's kind of cool, but I'm not holding my breath on that feature. Yeah, go for an OpenVPN running at the site. Get the phone a VPN client. There's a reason we like OpenVPN. It's not an arbitrary choice to like OpenVPN. We like OpenVPN because it works. It's reliable. It works. It's easy to manage. Like, those are good qualifications that you need, and it fits the bill for those things. So definitely. By the way, as you see, this is GNOME but not GNOME. It's not the Pop! OS you know. You notice how it's not skinned right here. I brought that up before for those of you wondering. GNOME itself is not natively supported in Xtego, so it's there. So you have to kind of use a cheapened version of, or load a Mate desktop or something like that. Yeah, once you start running Linux full time, I think life's easier. Once you just say, I'm going to do it. I've been doing it for so many years now, I don't even think about it. A few people ask me maybe, and I'll do some more videos on like default applications I use, but most of the stuff I use, with the exception of the screenshot tool, is the browser and logging in and fixing things for clients. So I use SSH a lot because of the nature of what I'm doing. But the majority of my work is browser-based. That is, open up websites, invoicing, billing, all the things that we do. That's all browser-based stuff we're doing all the time. So yeah, XCP here too across all my servers. I love XCP-NG. We are still super happy with that. That has worked out really well for us. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to be adding, I might swap out one of the servers. Basically, these servers are not super powerful. They're older. I forget what processor, but they're 24 core, 40 gig of RAM, nothing to write home about. But if I want to do rendering on them, I'm going to definitely be putting something really powerful back there. So I also have a company that reached out to me that wants to offer some deals on hardware. So we're working out some details with them, because we're going to do a video with some of the hardware I buy from them. And they're going to have some offer codes for you guys if you're interested in buying servers. They target a lot of the small business and even home lab audience that are looking for good deals on used servers. So I'm going to be doing some of the reviews on some of the equipment. I got to work out the details with them and get that sorted out. But that's going to be part of that build we do for there, because another question has come up before about build it or buy it. I'm going to close this real quick for FreeNAS. And one of the things is, there we go. A few people asked me about the server that I have here. Yeah, I'll probably make a video. They just released Shoe Command the other day, so I haven't really had time to look at it, dig into what they're doing there. But one of the things is, like, this is a E5 2620 at 2 gigahertz, 24 cores. This is a reasonably fast machine, 32 gigs of RAM, well, older machine, with available 11 terabytes available here of storage. So let's go ahead and look at the storage capacity itself. And I'm going to pull up where I got it from. So yeah, we got 11 terabytes usable here. So we're going to go to eBay. What are they called? Unix. And if you go to companies like this one right here, 16 bay, 6 gig storage controller, 12 core Xeon in it, 36 bay, 2 Xeon, 6 gig storage controller. Buying some of these used is absolutely if you're looking for some really powerful, huge rack servers, buying some of this used equipment from some of these places saves you a fortune. I got redundant power supplies in it, shipped with SAS drives in it. It's really fast, and I caught it on sale at the time I paid for it, like $500 something plus shipping. It was really cheap with the drives in it. They had a deal where they stacked all the drives in it as well. So here, 64 gigs of RAM. Start pricing this out, and you can build. Matter of fact, if you want redundancy, you can buy 2 of these, and for a couple grand. I know that's a lot of money, depending on your use case, but you can build a really nice redundant server for that. So, will I putting my GPU in a rendering server? No, Kdenlive doesn't work that well with GPU rendering. It doesn't make a big difference. So it's not one of a. They're working on it. I know Kdenlive, my editing tool I use, has been working on it. I've tried it, and it seems to crash a lot more. So yeah. What is Open Nebula? Power of Simplicity Cloud. What does it do? On-premise, hosted cloud, distributed cloud. OpenNebula is a simple, powerful, flexible, turnkey, open source solution to build private clouds and manage data center virtualization. OpenNebula Security builds, blah, blah, blah. Okay, looks neat. Not on my priority list. Looks cool, but I have to have a use case. I have to have like an implementation. I don't always have time just to randomly test things unless I kind of have a whole use case for them as well, because that gets me more in depth. Just standing something up to go, cool, I loaded it. Now what? Doesn't really get you guys much of a review. Oh, the new Zen Orchestra update opened the stats on the free version. That's really cool. I didn't know that. So let's see. OBS, you got hardware encoding enabled for your streaming. Yes. I haven't had any problem with mine at all. Actually, no, I don't. I saw all software. Right now I'm doing all software. I had to scratch. I think I had to look at the settings. So our controllers are probably looking mature. Cool. Lab Gopher for eBay filtering. Oh, neat. I never heard of Lab Gopher. Great server deals. That's cool. Hey, neat. I like it. That's a cool site. That's can throw that a link in here. I like that. Bitwarden versus LastPass. I still am happy with LastPass. I want to check out Bitwarden. It's on my to-do list. It just hasn't. It's a time thing, because if I commit to it to learn about it, I mean, loading it doesn't really use it. I have 792 sites saved in LastPass. I know I can export and import them, but obviously that becomes a lot of work because not only are there that many sites, my staff uses LastPass. That's how we're sharing passwords. I know you can do that, but now think about all the sharing and all the groups and everything we have built in to do this. Therefore, changing it is not pain-free, and there's not this giant push. There's not some major feature that they offer. They're both very capable password managers, and Bitwarden looks really nice, but there's not a pain point. I'm not having a problem with LastPass that makes me go, I have to switch to Bitwarden. So I think it's good. I mean, I've had really positive reviews from people I talked to. It even looks a lot like LastPass. The layout's much the same. And it went through a code review, which was one of my prerequisites for it. I'm like, cool, but until I really go, I have to decide that I need to change me, my staff, and all the people I know, and it's a lot of clients that also I use to share passwords with LastPass, and tell them, you all have to switch to Bitwarden, or I have to keep 2 password managers on my system. That becomes a different headache. So that's part of the reason. It's a lousy reason, but it's one of those, hey, why are you on Facebook? Well, that's where I talk to a lot of people. I could leave Facebook completely, but the other side of that would be I know many people I communicate with regularly are on Facebook. So yeah. I'm waiting for LogMeIn to give me a reason. Don't worry. My faith in LogMeIn is 0. So I am shocked that LogMeIn bought them 2 years ago and has not destroyed the product. I am as shocked as anyone of that. Don't worry. I don't think LogMeIn's a wonderful company. I think maybe they've destroyed enough products. They go, hey, maybe this product we have, because there's market competition, we shouldn't destroy it. It's never stopped them before, but so far it has. Yeah, so if I was having the problems that other people are having, yes, I have to have a reason to switch more than I'm bored. I need to have 10 hours of my life sucked up changing everyone over to a new platform. That's probably a way I could describe it. I don't know how painful the switch would be. I know you can import export, so that's the thing. But another piece of Errata I did have, and we did let me see, where's it at? 3 dot. Is it 138 maybe? That looks right. I can't remember the password now. I'll get that later, as I didn't save it yet. But I do have the PBX exact system, so I'm going to do a couple of videos on this because it has all the licenses and talk about it. And a few people on my free PBX follow-up video misunderstood something, or maybe I miscommunicated something. Everyone's like, you can put it in the cloud. I'm like, I know. Someone even called me to let me know that you can host your PBX in the cloud. I'm like, I know I can. So I thought that was odd that, once again, YouTube commenters and then one phone caller. And I'm super polite. I'm not trying to be rude to anyone, but I'm just like, When you set up any of these free PBX things, you always have to click through a thing that says, "Did you know you can host it in a cloud?" When you go to Sangoma's website, you're like, you have to host it in the cloud. I'm like, I get it. You got to host it in the cloud. I understand. Yeah, I know the import-export for LastPass to Bitwarden is the easy part. It's all the sharing and managing it across a big group of people that is less the easy part. So yeah. So it's all the sharing. I don't know that you can export, not to mention I have to get all those other people to import, export as well, and not all of them are tech savvy, so there's that. So that's definitely a, it's if it was just me and I worked in a silo by myself, yeah, I would just import, export, try it, and go, this looks cool, and it would be no big deal. But I don't work by myself, so that isn't a system that works. What? I know it's just an update. Should we just load an update? We'll update it live. Upgrade required. We'll get a new version while we're here, live on the show. If I can't import, well, I know LastPass does CSV. If I were unable to do the whole CSV thing, I'd be in trouble because, man, it's just under 800 websites that I keep passwords for. So yeah, I've convinced a lot of clients because LastPass was first to use the password manager and use LastPass. Therefore, if I switched, now I have this disconnect between clients I've shared passwords with, other external contractors I have shared passwords with, and then on top of that, web development companies I've shared passwords with. So is a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that has to be done. But that Gopher site's definitely pretty cool. I do like this lab Gopher. If I have some more eBay stuff to snipe, I'll do that. But, like I said, I'm going to be looking at putting in a really high-end server. Again, I'm going to cover the server, talk a little bit about it. It's going to get XCP-NG on it. I did my Proxmox versus XCP-NG video. I have no problem with Proxmox. I think it's a great product. You're splitting hairs. There may be a feature on one side or the other you like, but I think both are high quality products. Both of them are great. And someone, there's always some commenter, well, Proxmox is just Debian with a couple enhancements. You could just do it all by hand yourself. I'm like, yes, you could. Who needs web interfaces to make things easy? So, you got to add a few more asterisks. So my password's actually this. I'll drop it in here. This is my password. That actually would be kind of funny. Just make your password a whole lot of asterisks. Like, someone would be so upset. They're like, what's your password? You send them a screenshot. They're like, no, it's not showing the password. Yeah, it is. I don't know. We find humor in a lot of things like that because we're tech people. So my password's all asterisks. Dell R710s. How much do they have an R730 here? Yeah. Oh, now this is a cool feature. I need something with this much CPU power. I need over 20,000 on a pass mark. There we go. And we need a lot of memory. Oh, here we go. R20. Now we're talking. Yeah, I like this site more all the time. Not bad. Pass mark 23,000. Cool. Not many when you get to that high. We'll go 17,000 here. There you go. So this is definitely you guys turned me on to something here. See, I learned stuff. That was my tweet. If you guys didn't see it when I was on Twitter, I like having my views challenged and stuff like that. I've talked about that before. This is why I tweeted, making videos on YouTube discussing how I run my company has brought me a lot of feedback. I love being challenged and defending my positions, and when I'm wrong, learning from the exchange. This is something, I thought about this morning, and I do. I really appreciate I have a lot of good business discussions. I have, discussions in the forums. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm telling you how we do things, and if better ideas are presented, so to speak, I will always, look at them, evaluate them, and change things. It's dynamic. It's not everything's in stone. I'm boring, I guess, because I'm not one of those persons so strong in my convictions of this is the only way to ever do it. But I think those are the worst business people sometimes, unless they're really right. Sometimes you argue with them and you're like, well, I was wrong and they were right, but whatever. It's all iterations. So Mesh Central. Is that what this is? Huh. I don't know if I'm on the right thing or not. I'm going to stick with Lab Gopher because it's got CPU mark on there. And I'm throwing it in our chat right now. My staff will wonder, we'll figure it out later why I did that. All right, that's dropped in there. Cool. Yeah, static mindsets are definitely boring. Mastodon's pretty cool. I don't use it much, and it comes to back to the problem of not enough people there. I signed up. I have a Riot and Mastodon account set up, but back to if people aren't there, there's not enough people for me to talk to. I'm gonna not use it very often. So yeah, that's the thing. LastPass Enterprise, do you share clients? Yeah, the clients don't always buy LastPass Enterprise. They sometimes just use the free one, which I'm fine. If I get people to use a password manager, I feel better. How's that? Yes, definitely buying a more powerful server. I'm gonna look at it something really high end. Well, I see really high end. It kind of depends what the budget is. I need something faster than what I have because I want it to render faster. It renders fine now, but I don't. If I'm going to build a new server and dedicate it to rendering, I want it even faster. And, if I'm going to run more published applications there, not to mention this Parrot VM lives on that same server. So I want it to be able to render, and then I want to do a bunch of cracking in my Parrot VM, so I can go here to Parrot, pull up all this stuff, and run all my tools in here, especially like OpenVAS, so I can do my Parrot videos while I'm rendering videos on my other videos. And yeah, I'm looking at like maybe the R730s. So I kind of like those. I've always liked the Dell platform. And the reason why is because Dell, better than some of the other companies, through just a simple service tag, I'm able to quickly find the part. I'm quickly able to find availability on it. It's easy to match up availability across their server lines. So if I have an R730 and I need a power supply for an R730, I can jump on eBay and grab a power supply for an R730. A lot of our clients using Dell, they've always made it really easy to that. Let's see if our update went well or didn't. Upgrade required. I guess I'm 2 versions behind? Okay. More upgrades. Lenovo X3650. I don't mind Lenovo's. I see less of them, but I don't have a problem. I guess I should be looking on eBay for it. I don't know what they go for at all. Yeah, I just shared Lab Gopher, and there's 186 people who now are going to share that, and then I get a few thousand views later, so now everyone's going to be on Lab Gopher, and all the prices are going to get raised. I want a server that's quiet, too. That makes a difference to me, so here we go. 20 cores, 10 grand. That looks like a good rendering server, right? What else we got? Well, that's just the case. Just get a new R740. What do they go for? R740. We're having fun today, right, guys? Just Tom Shop's Hardware. So I'm not a fan of how complicated Dell makes some of their configuration stuff, but they do have a discount here. Because I don't hardly need any storage on it at all. Yeah, internet's gonna break it. There we go. So the 6160, we want more. We need more. We need the Intel Xeon Platinum. What does that even score at? And is this a dual one? We're gonna have all of them in here. If you haven't been, the most beautiful, like if anyone wants to These Stelios are beautiful, by the way, if you didn't see them. And this company has it figured out. Like, how do you want the finish? What do you want? Built in with Papa West? Yes, we do. We want 28 cores. Then we'd like to have 128, well, let's go 384 gigs of RAM. We need another 28 cores. Let's just build a monster here. 2 terabyte NVMe? Well, of course. 44 terabyte NVMe? Sure. So, yeah, got to make sure we have all that. Hey, why not throw a... Wait, there we go. That's the one we wanted. First GPU, Titan. 27. There we go. Speakers. Hey, while we're here, 3-year warranty. Awesome. What are we at here? Hey, why not? Custom hard case. We're at $80,000. Do you see how easy this is? Like, it's so easy to come here and spend $80,000 and configure your system and hit add to cart. System 76 doesn't just make nice systems. This website's well thought out. I really love everything about how they do this. This is how it should be done when I'm customizing something. When you look at how messy any of these other sites, I know Dell, you're talking about their servers, but really a lot of the other sites, the same concept. They don't have this really simple ordering system. Like, the beauty of the simplicity. Because you know who else has one like this? Tesla. We want, what is it? The right to the Model 3 page. Let's see. No, with ZFS, they have to be the same capacity. But if I want to order a Tesla, here's another company that gets it. Which one do you want? The long range, the standard range, performance? Next. I like black, so we'll actually do next. The white interior is ugly. Full driving, check the box. Yeah, I want it to drive me to work. There you go. I can place an order. I could throw my credit card in here right now, and for less than a Thelio desktop, I can have a Tesla Model 3 that'll drive me places. So, I like companies that understand simplicity and things like that to get me to what I want to be at. So, and a few people asked me about what laptop I'm going to get. I was here when Jay was reviewing. If you didn't look, Jay from Learn Linux TV reviewed some of the laptops that they have, and he's got them on his channel. I think he's got 1 or 2 of the reviews posted. I was obviously here playing with them as well. This is going to be my next laptop purchase. Will probably be one of these. They're really nice. There's nothing wrong with my IBM now, but these are just nice. Seeing them in person, they have the fit and finish that you want. Everything about the company is really high end in terms of support. So everything I like about them is like, yeah. When do I want to buy a server? Now. Right now is good. Not while we're on the live stream, because I have a person I'm going to call for a channel deal to get them to send me some stuff. I'm working out a deal with a company. They want to sponsor something. Anytime, if you ever wonder, I just close my videos. I'll say, Unify sent me this. I will start the video with that if I ever get something, in case anyone's ever curious. I actually have avoided having actual channel sponsors, but we do have affiliate linking and affiliate codes that we leave when we do review things. So this company wants to send me. I don't think they have any AMD servers, and I wouldn't, until it's the new EPYC ones, unless I was going to go EPYC, I wouldn't want the older AMD servers. They're just not as good. The new EPYCs, the ones that are built on that Threadripper design, are pretty awesome. But I'm probably going to end up with just a used Dell. You could save so much money in the wholesale market buying a server that still has warranty that's like a year old. That's a Pulse. So, oh yeah, and the whole point will be, I'm full disclosure. The company offered me a discount if I do a video on the server, and absolutely. They're even said they can offer discount codes for my audience. I'll have like an offer code that I can give you. It's a deal I'm working out with the company. It's not worked out yet. That's why I'm not going to say anything about them until I get that deal. But yeah, so I'll be doing a whole video how I do it, and it's going to be running XCP-ng, but it's also going to run X2Go and a virtual machine, so I can do video editing on it. as a published application. That way, my dated old, what is my system? I'm going to pull it up here. Someone's going to ask, and I don't have the answer. Let me pull up. There it is. Too many things open. Yeah, I have a sad old Intel Core i7 here. So yeah, it's a 4770. It's not a terrible, yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not awesome at all. But I'm going to extend the life of this thing greatly by the only thing it doesn't do well is render videos. I don't play games on this at all. So in terms of that, well, that's an easy solution. I just build a rendering server to go in the back, and then now my problem goes away for doing the rendering. I can just do it there. So yay. Oh yeah, if I go use, I'll definitely do an overview. And the reason that is I like to talk about why I chose, and maybe Eric, you weren't here earlier in the video, but one of the things I talked about was I bought that used server from, do I have eBay Lab open? No. From eBay, I bought a server from Unix Surplus. And I didn't do a video on it because it's really not that much to write home about. But it was like a $600 with usable 12 terabytes on my FreeNAS for $600 including shipping. One of those, it's so cheap, hard to pass up. I can't build if I went and bought the parts new. So buying it used, shipped here with redundant power supplies and a 2U box was actually really cheap for me to get it here. And it works wonderfully. It's actually quite fast. It's got a 10 gig card in it. And I've had no problems with it. Columbus, Ohio, Oregon, awesome. Yeah, 8 or 9. This is an older i7 and it works. Like I said, I don't really have you don't really have a reason to upgrade except for the rendering, because the stuff I do most of the time is what you're looking at right here. I sit in a screen and log into stuff. That's a lot of what I do. I'm looking up websites. I'm pulling up web panels. I just spent 2 hours doing a remote support on a network in another city, redesigning LAN groups inside of Unify. That's a lot of what my job is network engineering. So as long as I can do that, this computer is perfectly fine and won't get replaced. Do customers ever recycle servers with me? Oh, all the time. We always are recycling servers for clients. That's pretty common. Generally, we don't want them at all. The servers we get from clients are garbage. They usually stretch them out beyond our recommendation time to go away. Chris, hey, Chris, I just realized it says that's Chris. Crosstalk Solutions is in here. Chris had time to jump in when I was live. And I think all of you know Chris. Chris helped me out, and he's the reason I got that new Sangoma box. I got it from Chris. So I'm gonna be, like I said, that's I want to migrate to that hardware there and play with all the new features and things like that. So Chris knows FreePBX inside and out. I just got through. I've been in preparation for some changes I want to make. I rewatched, because Chris has his latest series. Granted, his version 14. I know version 15 is coming, but I rewatched all Chris's videos. I always pick up something new. I'm not afraid to admit it, man. I consume a decent amount of YouTube videos, tech videos, because that's how I learn things too. So his whole video series on FreePBX, I didn't know you could do this, and I probably shouldn't log in my FreePBX. I'll end up exposing something because I'm an idiot. But I didn't know. I learned today that you can take and cut up the sound and play it all together. So when you're building out the voice on there, you can add multiple ones but play it as one voice. So that was something I learned today, because, and I'm going to pull this up for you, because I don't know if very few of you have probably called my office. If you would like to call my office right now, I'll even throw the number in here. Don't press a button. Just listen to the IVR if you're interested. It's 313-299-1503. And I'll just, you don't have to do it, but I'll show you what it does. If we go over here to, where's it at? Phone greeting. Is it here? IVR open. This sounds like the right one. But one of the things, let me see if I have the script in here too. So I'll read it to you for a laugh, though. If you of our clients really get a kick out of how we did this. Yeah, and you can do multiple languages per recording too, which is also really cool. So one of the things we have when you call our system, it says, "Thank you for calling Large Systems. We hope you're having a fantastic day. If you're a part of these extensions, you can dial anytime. Retail offices." Oh, that's the close one. Yeah. Then I say, if your day is less than fantastic, press 1 for our support team, or press 5 for hours and directions. I run through it like that. And one of the things I like to do is create a more fun atmosphere. And it's funny because I didn't tell, hello, this is Lenny. One of the things I try to do is when people call in and hit our IVR, I do not want a boring, droning on voice. I put a lot of enthusiasm. That's one of the reasons I mentioned if you call us and listen to how the IVR does it. And it's funny because I didn't tell my staff when I changed the recording, but they realized a lot of people said, "My day's less than fantastic," is how they greeted my staff when they answered, which I thought was funny. And they didn't understand until they learned that the greeting was, "I hope you're having a fantastic day, and if your day's less than fantastic, press 1 for support." So, just having a fun phone script. I don't change it too often, but I think that's an important aspect. I have to kick my door open real quick. All right. It's warm in my office, so if I'd open my office door. But I take my job very seriously, but I don't take me very seriously in general. You know what I mean? That's something, if you read through Let's Keep in Touch or how we write things in here, one of those things, like I said, we take our job, what we do, very serious, but we don't take ourselves personally serious about how we run things. It's not very strict. It's very, open. Having a little fun at work helps quite a bit. FreeNAS question. I just started my FreeNAS server and I'm trying to get it to my great QNAP as a backup. Okay. Just create a share, rsync it over, dump it over. I guess I needed maybe to understand what your challenge is. Yeah, the only thing sucking about is 130 watts for dual Xeons. That is a concern. I do look at the overall power usage because it's not just power usage. There's two problems. If you're using more wattage, you're also probably producing more heat. So one of the calculations I do is I don't want a server that's too old because it's going to produce more heat, and that's obviously a really bad thing. So, yeah. Oh, interesting. YouTube just told me I'm using the wrong bit rate. I don't know. This is new information. I won't click on that right now. I'm going to get rain soon. Oh, that's joy. I'm going to look at my phone. If you don't know, it's a disaster right now because of all the rain. It's really bad. So I'm going to look at the radar real quick because there's been flooding everywhere. So how bad does it look? I'm looking. Oh boy, look at that. That's what we need is more rain. Let's see. Yeah, so definitely. For those of you that don't know, airborne. This is what we don't usually have flooding here in Michigan. It's not, we're not a place that has a lot of it, but it definitely flooded. There's, this is right down the street from us. These are neighborhoods like 5 miles, 6 miles from here. Yeah. So it's crazy because this is not something that happens here in this area of Michigan. We don't experience flooding like this. Yeah, right here. Look at this, man. Isn't it wild? So it's an unusual circumstance for us to be flooded, but we certainly are, and that's definitely a tragic. So we are not looking forward to more rain. There we go. This is the one picture I was looking for. That is a 14-foot clearance there. And so what do we have here? Maybe a couple feet. So that's like 12 feet of water under our freeway. And then it's on top, too, because it doesn't have anywhere to go. So, so it's pretty bad. Let's see. For the life of me, I can't clear the error on my FreeNAS smart device, currently unreadable pending sectors. That sounds like, well, you can't necessarily clear it. That's a drive telling you there's bad pending sectors is what it looks like. I would tell you that there's some type of error on that device. Yeah, 2014, 2016, we did have those mini floods, so it did happen before too. I guess it's rare, except for the couple we had. It's not like a regular occurrence. It's not like every spring we have a flood. Yeah, server's quieter under load. Yep. I can't help you with your wife questioning that. See, I have a business, so there's no question. Everything's an expense. So I just accumulate things kind of as needed, and they're all legit business reasons. That's what I tell the IRS. I need all these things. Wow. That's by my friend's house. I recognize that street. He's lucky he's on the edge of it, but anyways, that is just crazy. You know, I'll share something with you guys that's kind of related because I'm a geek, and so someone may do this. If we go to SSH PF Sense at Tom's house, and then we fire up proxy change in Firefox. So I'm logged into my Firefox at my house now. And if you haven't heard of this is my sump pump. You guys can see my sump pump live. So I can see it's a little bit of water still dripping in because it's, we're between this. Also, there's another reason for this. This is a Raspberry Pi monitoring my sump pump. So the Raspberry Pi is called Motion Eye. Where's that? There we go. I'm going to be doing a video on this. This is a really cool. It's the Motion Eye daemon in there. We need to do the whole thing. Motion Eye, Raspberry Pi. There we go. But yeah, this is a cool utility for Motion iOS. That's what it is. So that lets you turn. You could take a Raspberry Pi and make a camera, and this is mounted in under my house, so I can watch my sump pump. So it's definitely a pretty slick system. It's there we go. I can see the water coming in there. So yeah, this is actually really cool, and they're nice for building, monitoring things. I thought about putting some other sensors on there, like an alarm sensor and things like that. But this way you can visually see it. So because I have a crawl space, this is under there. But I thought I'm going to do a video on this. I built this one as a demo. I wanted to let it run for a while, and I've had it running for quite a while. And now I want to I'm going to buy another kit and do a video on how you can build cameras out of a Raspberry Pi. So it's definitely a pretty slick system. Let's see, what do we got here? Sorry, catching up. Someone's divorced, so you can buy what you want. Yes, you can. That's something else. Greetings from Central Florida. Even guys with 20 years enterprise experience learn from Tom Lawrence. Yeah, Motion Eye, 3 Raspberry Pis running on a surveillance kit. Definitely slick. It's a really neat. It does motion capturing. Because the other things I want to do, and someone had commented, we think flooding's happening more often. Well, I thought about logging all the data I get from this, and then measuring how many times my sump pump turns on and off over the season, accumulating that data, and making a more objective answer of whether or not that does it. A Raspberry Eye would have been a better name. So this is kind of novel because you have all these features where I can customize this, and then I can log data, I can do that. Now this works off of, and we'll pull up my Amazon to show you, in case you're wondering what I bought for this. So let me. Orders. This is the all you really need to do this. So this I'm actually using the infrared camera. Yeah, you can add some sensors to the Pi as well. They have some water sensors for there. But this is the camera. This is one made for night vision. This is the 5-volt adapter because I have a PoE. And then it's just a regular Mechanic kit, super basic with, I had a cheap card laying around to put it there. But what I want to point out, what you see here, this light, this exact setup, we 3D printed a little holder for it, and we ran the cable underneath. This is a crawl space, by the way. This isn't I don't have a basement. This isn't my crawl space. So this runs in there and looks down into the bucket, and you can see how good the picture is on this, and you can see exactly what's going on. And it's full night vision. This is under crawl space, under my house with no lights. You know what I mean? The only light you're getting is from there, the infrared. So yeah, it works great. So you can build this too with I think it works with the Pi Zero. And the reason I use this, because I know you can connect it that way, but there's no power underneath my house. So we got this, you know, the little Pi adapter. It's a Utronics micro USB to PoE splitter. That way I can have a PoE brick, and away we go. It's a simple setup. So it's like $10 for this, $40, $20, so $90, and I've got it. Yeah, they have crypto mining hookups, right? Is an Ubuntu default settings secure? Actually, yeah. They don't. I wouldn't say there's anything insecure about the way it's set up. As far as I can tell, it works really well. I haven't had any. There's nothing about it, like it doesn't leave ports open or anything like that. And maybe I'll do a video talking about some extra steps you can do to make sure you've locked it down. But for the most part, it's not bad at all. Like Ubuntu and all of its derivatives, for the most part, none of them have things they open up by default. So they're secure. They offer encrypted home directories as soon as you set them up. I do like the Pop! OS installer because right off the rip, the Pop! OS installer will do the, encryption, right? The full drive encryption right when you install it, which is actually really awesome. So hands down, I really like it as a product. Like, it just works really, really well. What else we got here? So, yeah, that's right. Like Chris said, besides the firewall, I don't think there's no ports open, but I don't think it comes default with the firewall. So you have to just turn that on. So, but there's really no services running by default. So there's not anything exposed, but it's still another step to have the firewall on there and turn it on. That way, if you were to turn a service on, you would then also have to edit the firewall, but it's still always better to run a firewall on the machine. That way you make sure implicitly everything is locked down. So what Chris said is absolutely correct. The Raspberry Pi running Motion and how secure is such installation on Wi-Fi? It's only as secure as your Wi-Fi password because the Motion software itself is not particularly secure. So if you noticed, it's not even HTTPS. That's not how it operates. It's all done in the clear. So I don't know what the password is. But ideally, when you're setting this up, we'll bring up the settings menu here. Ideally, when you're doing this, you set all this up on a separate network. You should put all the cameras on the separate network. You should put it, set up all this stuff so it goes exactly like motion detection, all this. Put it on a separate network like any other camera. So it's not ideal to have this on your same network because it doesn't have SSL support out of the box. You could probably reconfigure it. You could probably add SSL, but it does not. Therefore, add it. Best way to describe that there. So let's see. If you skip motion detect, you can get more FPS on fast. Yeah, there's options for that. I'll do a review of the software. I'm really happy with it. I do really like it. Hey, awesome. Congratulations on getting your pfSense open source set up. That is great. A good backup solution that is open source. Your backup very is good. You know, I want to do a couple backup videos for things. And by the way, someone had commented way earlier, maybe they're still here following around. Hey, look, I got paid today. Payday. But one of the things that someone says, oh, you only like free stuff or open source stuff. No, there's exceptions. We've done, and we're going to do some more follow-up videos because we like Synologies. We've deployed them. We've used them. We've installed them with clients. We have them set up on Backblaze for backups. Like for a small business solution, Synologies work great. I'm really happy with them. They're an excellent product. They're one of the ones that I recommend to people. If you want a turnkey solution that's pretty easy to use, Synology's not a bad box at all. There's a reason we like them. No, they're not open source. Sorry. They're not FreeNAS. But they have like a small office, 4-person office that goes, I need something to back up these computers and I want to manage it myself. We're tech savvy enough to use it as a file server and manage it. It's a great solution for that. It's bare metal backups and restores is great. Oh, what is the IP addresses you see in here? I'm using proxy chains, if you didn't notice. So let me move this over. I have that whole video on proxy chains, and I explain what some of this is. What you're looking at is all the IP addresses that are proxied back over to my house with proxy chain. I have a whole video specifically on proxy chains you can look. Yep, and we use a SolarWinds backup as well. Yeah, we pay, SolarWinds is actually, because we have some CloudBerry installs, but SolarWinds is like our go-to for our MSP stack, and it's expensive. It's not a cheap product. It's not open source either. So, yeah. I've heard good things about Veeam. I've never used it. Like, none of my clients are using it. I've heard it works well. I think there's a Veeam integration with FreeNAS too, where it works well with FreeNAS. Not tried it. Can't speak for it. I do want to, we look at available plugins here. I want to play with, we use CloneZilla a lot too, by the way, if you're looking for just a cloning system. But I want to, Backup PC is supposed to be pretty good, and the BRU server, and they're both in here. I've heard good things about them, so I want to play and take a look at it. There's also Bacula. So they have these 3 built into the plugin repository of FreeNAS that you can install into a jail. So that's definitely going to be, something I can, I want to do some videos on there. And of course, people who like Nextcloud's in there. FreeNAS just said they updated some of the jails recently, so some of these have gotten some new versions in here, which is pretty awesome. You have to look in the FS tab to figure out the mount points of getting your CentOS moved over. You're going to have to look at the way FS tab mounts it. Did the UUID of the disk change? You have to sometimes clone it and then go in and match the FS tab to the UUID mount or to whatever the new drive mount is. And let me show you what I mean there if you're doing that. And I got a video I've been working on for a while. So if you do sudo cfdisk on this computer right here, so devsda, devsda is the one for this. But let's log into something else. Let's log into this system. Dev is it xVDA. So in here it's xVDA on these. So this is where the drive letters have changed. So if I would have loaded this on bare metal, it's SDA, but now it's xVDA. So then if we go to vim/etc fs tab, okay, this one's being mounted as that. But do you see these UUIDs? You have to have these UUIDs matching or it won't boot. So if I clone it to another drive and it gets a different UUID, you are going to have to edit those UIDs to match. How do you do that? You can boot it off of a gparted bootable ISO, look at what the UIDs in gparted, edit the fstab file when you mount it, and edit those files, and away you go. So those are ways you can do it. I'm on my to-do list is a video on basically how to transfer VMs, because this problem doesn't just occur if you're trying to get it from bare metal to a VM. This problem occurs going from different hypervisor platforms, because not all hypervisor platforms treat hard drives exactly the same way. So anytime you're doing it, so if you probably want to look for a P2V guide until I get around to making one. If you don't have time to wait for that, because I can't give a date for that, you want a P2V, which is going to be, a physical to virtual guide, and type in like P2V CentOS to anything else, and they'll guide you through the changes you'll have to make in CentOS to make that happen. So that's all that is from when you're looking at it. Also, I'm logged into my PF Sense at Tom's house. Woohoo! What other geek things do we have questions about? Yeah, and Unraid works for scaling over time for data expansion. You're correct. And Unraid's not a bad product. Synology has options for expanding the RAID as well. And Synology's nice because it's like a complete kit. The hacker in me likes FreeNAS a whole lot better because of the expandableness and the jails. Like to be able to build jails on the fly and do different things with them. That's upcoming future videos on that. I'm going to have the man on. So if you don't know, he just released a new book. Michael. BSD jails. Michael Lucas is on a book door. And he just released his new FreeBSD IT Mastery book, published on March 25th, 2019. If you are into learning how jails work, he writes the book on it. He's wrote the book on this. He's wrote the book on SSH. And of course, FreeBSD administration in general. He's got a book on that as well. But SSH Mastery, if you want to learn everything there is to know about SSH, tunnels and keys and management, this is the book to read. I've had Michael Lucas on my channel before. He's a local Detroiter. Wonderful guy. If you happen to be able to go to PenguinCon, he's going to be there, and he's got some incredible number of talks he's doing, something like 6 different talks he's putting on, all about SSH and jails and everything else and systems administrative stuff. So what are we doing when Xavier passes in his OCP? I don't know, but he will definitely be excited. MediaWiki still going strong. Awesome. Unify Wi-Fi 6. What about it? Do I have to Google this? What is the person trying to tell me? New Wi-Fi naming convention? I don't understand the question. I don't know. I'm not as worried about some of the new Wi-Fi standards coming out because I don't know. There's a slower lag between the time our phones and our laptops and our desktops get it. So that's definitely still a thing. I converted my VMs to FreeNAS Beehive to XCP by using Clonezilla. It worked great. I've always had great luck with Clonezilla moving in between there. And you can look at my jails on this particular machine. There's only a couple jails on this, and there's a few jails on the other one. I don't use them extensively. I use them for things like SyncThing and more playing with stuff. They work. The jail system is really good, but I will tell you, I have nothing in the VM system. Nothing. They're working on it. It keeps getting better with every iteration, but it's still not there in my opinion. So Xavier is poking a network, but he's at home doing it. I don't know whose network he's poking. Hopefully not mine. I don't know. He could be. Let me look real quick. See, he usually messages me over here. Nope, he's busy working. He would have messaged me. I've heard nothing from him today. So yeah. So he's going to be here late. He'll be here at about just before he shows up around 7 o'clock. So about 30 minutes before we do the live stream is when he'll be here. What is? Oh, someone has a confusion. I have to call one of my friends. He's confused about how he grew his I know what he just did. Never mind. I will. Okay. I just caught up my messages. The fog. We used to use the fog project years ago. We set it up as school system. I don't even know what it's current. I haven't used it in like 5 or 6 years. It's actually kind of cool. It's for managing and cloning computers. The latest fog release was on May 2nd. So yeah, it's still current, still being updated. It's pretty cool. We used to use it back in the day. When that school closed, we didn't really have any more use cases for it. We don't really clone machines here anymore. It's not necessary because Windows 10 is just as fast to load off Windows 10. We don't really need to push an image of it anymore. So, nope, I have not configured Proxmox with a Ceph cluster. I know people like it. I've heard it works well. So, yes, how they got hacked is 7:30 tonight. Are those iSCSI devices still a thing? Yeah, I forgot the iSCSI initiator ports. Where is it at? Oh. Oops, Shodan. There we go. Absolutely, these are a thing. Trust me. What was the port number? They blocked it all out, but I forget what you have to search for. It's iSCSI initiator port. $32.60. So if we were to do a Shodan search, port like this. There we go. No, I did it wrong. It's just port, isn't it? Or is it port colon? I'm clearly doing something wrong. Weird. Oh, I'm not logged in. Anyways, can't have my login for that. Yes, there's a whole lot of it out there. What is Cylance? Cylance is some AV company. They're artificial intelligence AV. Eliminate noise, experience silence. They're got a snazzy website. EDR, Next Generation AV, API, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. MikroTik, yes, they're actually, I seen some in stock the other day. Chris did a good review of those. I think that's the right one. So those are back in stock. But if you didn't know, I thought this was kind of cool. They have another one here with 8 SFP plushes for $249. I was like, this is kind of cool. So yeah, novel. So 8 ports, why not? That's a step up, right? I don't know. Maybe this product's old and it's been around for a while. I don't know, but I thought it was kind of novel. It even has a rack mount on it. But yeah, 8 10 gig ports. So for $249, pretty reasonable to have 8 10 gig devices connected. Definitely pretty cool there. What else we got here is I think I do have to wind this down because I do have some work to do before I go back to making another live stream later. I want to try an ACRAM. Is that a big deal? No, it's not. Have you older but decent boxes around but no money for new stuff? I've done this video and people want to argue with me, but it's we go here. FreeNAS ECC. There we go. Follow-up running for 2 years. I could do the same video again and follow it for 3 years. Not that I think it's exciting. At some point, it's kind of boring. It works. And I made sure I put this. This is like what a follow-up is. As a matter of fact, because I published this a year ago, just to be me, I should probably make a video that, hey, it still works, because I can tell you, I know where this is particular one because I have access to it right now. I know it's installed and it works fine. So not a big deal at all. Yeah, having 10 gig is great. I have my computer's connected at 10 gig. I have one of those, pull up on Amazon. So the Asus, I haven't done a review on it. I have this card in my computer. It works great in Linux. And I'm connected from here to my Unify. Pull this up. Pull up the Unify. It's got to log into ours. There we go. 10 gig switch, yo, and right there. I know it's small, but it says Tom's computer. That's the port I'm in, and I'm connected at 10 gig. So, yep, 10 gig connection to my computer right here. I can't prove it's mine. If I turn it off, it actually stopped the stream. We don't want that. Yeah, you got it. What do you think about Microsoft removing the ability to disable Windows Update and Pro in 1903? I don't run Windows for part of those reasons. I mean, I don't really have thoughts on it. You buy into Microsoft's ecosystem, you live with what they give you. The only options you have is to go ahead and buy, I don't know how much it costs, Windows 10 Enterprise. If you buy the Enterprise license, shopping? I'm sure these are lots of legit places selling it. Anyways, Windows 10 Enterprise. If you get the Enterprise, you can do the, what do you call it? You can delay the updates and things like that. I don't know. It is what it is. If you live in the world, you need updates because of security. We just hate the way Microsoft does updates because it breaks so many things. Welcome to living in Windows. How's that as a, reasons I don't use Windows. I can get all my work done, all my video editing done. Everything you see here is being done with Linux. So I will carry on doing it that way so I don't have to deal with, doing a live stream and an update that goes, hold on, it's time for your update. Yeah, 10 gig cards are getting really cheap, man. I mean, $100 for a card, it's 10 gig. That's awesome. You can also buy over on eBay SFP Plus cards are getting way cheaper. Like used ones are floating around out there. Who makes one? Like Intel one. That's what I'm looking for, the Intel. Like if you're building your home lab and you want it some close, right here's an Intel. The X520s are really compatible with a lot of different platforms, and $65. It's in 10 gig SFP Plus card. Hey, back from the same people I mentioned before, Unix Surplus. I bought stuff from them a couple times. I've been happy with it. And if you want the dual one, it's $95 for a dual 10 gig card right here. Yeah, I do admit I'm guilty. I have a Windows computer at home to run games. Sorry, and I would run it on Linux. If they had a way to completely run it on Linux, I would. They don't because of the couple of games I'm playing. That's life. That's just life. Whatever. Yeah. Windows 10 updates are like your parents shoving medicine down your throat. You don't like it, but you know it's good for you. Yeah, they just need to do a better job of it. But I don't know. That's a hard thing to do. So, yeah, Enterprise has to be bought in the Enterprise Assurance. It's an assurance agreement. It's not like an outright purchase, but it's part of an agreement. I don't know that a single. Well, I guess if you bought the Action Pack from Microsoft as an individual user, you could, because you're loading on your own stuff, you could do it. Do they even call it Action Pack? It's got some other name now, I think. So yeah, I game on Linux or don't. Yeah, I have a few friends that way. They only play games that are available to them on Linux, or they play console games. Jay's like that. Jay does not have a Windows computer. Jay from Learn Linux TV, he does all his gaming on a Linux box. So, I don't know if I want to do a deep dive on a SolarWinds Armament thing. I did a few videos on it. They don't get a ton of views, and it's very dynamic. They're constantly changing and adding features. So at some point, it's not, I don't know where the value is in doing it. It's also a pain to set up because I got to create separate accounts where I don't show all my clients in there every time I do a video on it. So what games keep me on Windows? Yeah, I've looked at the Proton stuff, but the current game I'm playing is The Division, and it's a Ubisoft. I haven't tried it. Game is not playable. Yeah. Some of this one, and my kids got a couple games. I don't remember which ones they were, but they didn't work either. This is the one I'm starting to get into, but well, I'm still playing Division 1, but I'm looking at Division 2. But yeah, there's some of the new games just don't. So, yeah, just for all my basic stuff, like, this is great. So, yeah, look, someone's got a video on it, apparently, of showing how to get it to work, but yeah. If you haven't played this game, by the way, even Linux or not, it's just a fun game to play. Hopefully my computer's fast enough to get it when I get Division 2. Anyways, yeah, garbage. Yeah, I know Ubisoft's horrible for their DRM and everything else, so there's going to be issues there. Exactly. I'm definitely aware of that. What drives are in my FreeNAS? What'd they ship me with it? I think I have them listed in here. Storage. This. Does it tell me? Will this information be enough? I think if I do this or not. There's some what do you call it? Seagates, I know that. There's Seagate constellations, I think. So, something like that. Not Iron Wolf. I think they're the Constellation ones. They're SAS drives too. Red Hat's new logo. Oh. You know, my favorite is this. The lizard. The dinosaur one. There we go. Red Hat. Let's see if someone's got this. Red Hat logo is actually a T-Rex punching a Triceratops. In case you didn't know. There, I'll star that. Why not? Let's see. One's a spinning Rust drive still. I don't have an SSD array. So they are spinning Rust, in case you're wondering. Yeah, rip Shadow Man, because I guess they got rid of it with the new logo. Whatever. Yeah, something. Whatever. SAS is nice because SAS can do more sequential transfers. So if your budget allows for SAS, they're going to be a little bit faster. But SATA's fine. I mean, it comes down to what's your budget, what's your use case. What level of performance do you need? What level of connection speed do you need? Those are important factors in buying a hard drive. It goes way more time than I have time to explain, but maybe I'd say maybe I'll make a video about it, but there's actually a lot of good videos already on that exact topic, like SAS versus SATA. They highlight the differences between them. And obviously it's like anything else, like do you add a caching or a ZIL drive? Well, yeah, I'd love to add a Zeus cache to there. So let's look up a Zeus cache though. So if we look in FreeNAS, where's the FreeNAS? You know, you can get some of these Zeus RAMs, but they're like $500, $600, $700. So I don't know. If does your budget allow it? It's better to have these things. They're going to go faster, but will your budget allow faster? Here we go. If your budget will allow buying whatever this is, 96 terabytes with the cables. So comes down to use case, comes down to what you want. There's some really good deals on used equipment out there because with all these cloud systems wanting the biggest and baddest, the fastest, these companies keep popping up more and more, like ServerMonkey and everything else. So yeah, that's definitely a there's more and more hardware always coming out there. Can you recommend a SATA controller card for my Dell that supports HBA? I have no idea, but I'm going to do this. This is how I answer these questions. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it like this to add one more. Dell R710 HBA card. This is how I answer those questions when people ask me. There's going to be an answer in here where people talk about which ones do, which ones don't. There's a lot of details when you do it this way to have a support for it. So if you get these, the FreeNAS community and the IX system community is going to be hugely helpful in their forums because they have the Will It FreeNAS build discussions. So yeah, that is that's going to be what makes a big difference for what you buy and what hardware works. And it comes down to specific serial numbers have different things. They have like some weird change. I know I have, and when I bought mine, I have the LSI RAID controller because it's well supported because some of the other ones are not. And when I bought mine, I bought it from Unix Surplus. They specifically had one listed as compatible with FreeNAS with the parts that were in it. That's why I did that. So yeah, LS9210. So yeah, I posted about the Dell support assist. The downside about the Dell support assist, we're going to talk about it tonight on how they got hacked, but it does require kind of a man in the middle to make that work. So also thank you very much to, I'm not sure how to say your first name. Is it Philly Toffman? Philly? But thank you for the donation for sure. I don't know how long. I've been going for 2 hours, so I am going to bail out. I need to go use the bathroom. I need to get ready for the live stream. I still use OSEC. I haven't moved to Wazoo. I see the question there. It's on my to-do list. I have to schedule and time and do things. The same with doing like a Security Onion video. I got Security Onion installed. Haven't had time to do the video. So, yeah. And what Chris Groves says is correct. You need a card that works in straight IT mode, like it's direct as an HBA, not as a RAID controller. You do not want to add a RAID controller to FreeNAS. You want FreeNAS working with the bare metal of the drives, as in not through the RAID controller, but as an HBA. That's an important part. So awesome. Thank you for joining me. 2 hours is a long session, so thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And look for us tonight at 7:30. I got to go clear the table and finish a few tasks before then because I see I have a handful of emails I have to address. So I got to get that taken care of too. Oh, look, more fun stuff. I have someone who wants me to work on some servers. Woohoo, exciting. All right, I am going to stop the stream, end the stream, or do whatever it is. I think I hit end stream over here. Awesome. Bye.